Friends, first of all, let me thank each one of these panelists who actually made to feel that AI is very simple. It is not complicated. It cannot be complicated than a CA curriculum. And it's been very simple and subtly done with live examples every time on different aspects. Most of the time, people are thinking that the programs which are being conducted by ICAI are focused on only practicing member. But this particular sessions which we have done were not for only practicing sessions, but also for the people who are working in industry, people who are decision makers, people who are business owners. They also have watched these videos and understood how simplified accounting, tax, and compliance can be. And that is a message which we try to give you all.
Thank you, Chairman Sir, for giving the overview of activities of AI in ICAI. And this is the first time the committee has been formed by ICAI under the leadership of Daya Sir. Thanks to our President Ranjit Sir and Charanjot Singh Ji Nanda Sir. And now the terms, every panelist will be given 10 minutes to present the use case, and 5 minutes will be given for the juries to throw their queries, throw their questions to the panelist, and they will have to give their answer so that they can justify their use case. Now let's move to our next panelist, and it is none other than K. Vijay Srinivasan sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Umesh ji. Thank you, A in ICAI. Thank you, Daya sir. And thank you for the jury for being patiently listening to us. And I wish all the best for the rest of the panelists as well. So I'll be sharing a screen and I'll be casually sharing my thoughts as well. Manuji and Mayurji, basically in my use case, practically this is part of my SOP where any financial statement, if I have to do, I'll initially share with this particular quality reviewer. And this chat will help me review the financials report and say where exactly any technical issues and all that. So likewise, there are other also like say peer review, where say for instance, if I'm saying that as a peer reviewer, if I have to validate any particular part A, part B of peer review application, so I usually take help. Like say for example, just to demonstrate, I'll request, because this is trained where it has the content of peer review, whatever application files with regard to the peer review, and I keep on interacting regularly so that it keeps developing itself. So accordingly, I'll be using that to perform any review, including audit. Say for example, let me ask what is there in part B to clause 2, just to check, because I need to ensure that the authenticity, accuracy is there. So this is the question, what it says, part B2 of the peer review application. So accordingly, once I ensure that this is perfectly doing, what I usually do is, let's say, for example, I've taken this, what you call firm policy, quality control policy of any particular firm. Let me share it with the respective GPT and say, great. Now, can you please complete the part B2? Let me also copy so that it will be more convenient, so that you can directly relate with the text what we have in GPT. So complete the part B while considering the firm quality control policy and ensure that the table structure is not disturbed, and provide small explanation wherever you have an affirmative answer. Okay, so I'm taking the help of this particular GPT, which will help me provide the part B. So this is where many firms, they find difficulty to link or fill up the part B or part A from the quality control policy. which is of course very much available. The template is very much available in Center for Audit Quality Directorate. So this is the use case which I usually use in my regular practice, whether it is quality and all. Then I thought if I'm using this, because the majority of the demand is like income tax, GST, all those subjects, I thought maybe if I can do something which will help out my partners or those having dealing with those taxation and all. Then I thought, though domain expert, or for that matter, even me, suddenly someone meets me on way and says, request any particular query on GST. I'm not being a domain expert, but I can't say that I'll contact my partner and come back to you. So I need to have something handy, at least to give a small response kind of thing. So I thought, why not go for a chatbot of any particular domain? Okay, say for example, you have this botpress.com. Okay, so just to mention with regard to this is free. You have 5 bots. You can give 2000 incoming messages. You have tables, everything pretty much available for in the in the way we can use. So it's pretty simple. And here the combination is, till last year we were hearing about zero code, no code kind of terminologies, and suddenly in between we have these GPTs coming in between. So I thought, why not have something like a zero code combined with AI, wherein I don't need to do any coding. Simply by using drag and drop, I need to develop a bot, which will help any kind of query. So that's where I'll just log in. It will connect to through your Gmail ID, whatever it is there. And this will be the screen, what you will come across. So here, just you don't need to do anything.
Vijay, it is not coming.
Pardon
me? It is
Screen
on the
is not
bottom.
visible.
Screen is not visible.
Not it?
The old screen is visible, the new one is not visible.
1 second.
Probably you have shared the window only.
Yeah, I'll share the screen.
Share the
I'm sorry
tab
for
only.
that. I'm sorry for that. Yeah.
And now it's okay.
So what I was
Okay.
saying is, this is the botpress.com. I've just logged in. So initial login will connect through Gmail. So initially it will ask question like whether you're using for personal or home or office or so and so, so and so. Very simple questions. Accordingly, it will customize. So here, once you get in, I'll just say new bot. Okay. So this bot, what we are going to deploy, can be used in a desktop, can be used in a mobile, in a tab, wherever you want. Okay. So let's see the beauty of it. First thing is, when I'm preparing a bot, I want to ensure that that should not be a global. I want to limit it to my local knowledge. So whenever you are using, initially click on this learn bot press, then only the other screens will get activated. So which I already done to save the time. So we'll start from scratch. Okay, so you need to click the use template and just follow. I try to keep it as simple as possible to explain, but just follow the steps what I'm doing. Okay, so once I've done, what I'll do is, let's say I don't want this. These are nodes. These are called nodes. I'll delete the node. So I have simply start and end. So in between, I just drag and drop. First thing, I'll right click standard node. So here I need to add a code. Code is what is the input you're going to, that means the query what you're going to punch in the chat box. So we call it as a raw input. So I'm going to say raw input. It has added. Now this raw input, this is where you want to put a question. Let's say, what is your query with respect to GST? Okay, so this is the query. And once I get some input result, I want to store it somewhere because I need to call it accordingly. So let's call it as query 1. Just give a name to the query output, what it gives. And here you can limit the knowledge base. It doesn't have to be global. So what is knowledge base? I'm just a simple click of this and say document. Let's say I'm going to take the document published by our GST portal of ICAI, where you have legal updates. So let me take that. I'll click this, go to that part, whatever it is there. Let me select only one document just to save time. I'll say confirm. And once you say, you need to just wait till a green tick is available over there. That means that has been uploaded. Once you get that a confirmation that the same thing has been uploaded, now that it's uploaded, let's go back to the main and say, click on the same query what we had. And I'll say, you limit this to default knowledge base. That's first step. So, okay. So I've limited my query to default knowledge step. Let me just drag it over here. Then sometimes what happens is, see, if you go to the knowledge base, the first one, these are the updates what Institute has been providing. So I can put a question from this to get a result. But sometimes I might be asking something beyond what is available. So in that case, obviously that's where we'll be depending on AI. So far we have seen.
Last 2 minutes left.
Yeah, let's go to AI. What we do is I'll just say standard code. Here I'll add a code. This code we borrow it from AI, generative AI. So here, if you see, this is where I the input what I got. Okay, output also I'll store somewhere. I'll say output query. Fine. Now, as you can see, you can limit the chat to 3.5 or 4 or 4.0. Usually we are going for free version. I'll limit it to 3.5 only. Now, once I get that, obviously the output has to be stored somewhere. That's where I'll call a text function. I'll just click on the text here. So text will capture the output what we had earlier. That is the output of query. Now everything is done. I just need to join this by drag and drop. Okay. So first thing we had a query, output is being stored into this thing. Why we are doing that is if it is not there in my domain, not there in my library, it can reach out to AI. So just drag and drop, connect this and connect the respective, let me just browse to the, let me just connect this to, so input, if it is not there, go to AI. If it is there, then come out. Let's ask a question. Before I ask question, let me publish. Okay. So that you, before the time closes, let's see how it is going to be published. So once I say publish, you can see that in the bottom, it will confirm whether it has been published or not. So just a couple of seconds, it might take. And once it is published, a share button will be enabled. Yes, it is published. I'll just click on share. And this is the link which you are going to share with your clients or your staff or whatever it is there. And this is where your chatbot is enabled. What I've done is this particular link I've copied and pasted in my web page so that anyone, let's first start with hi. So because the first query it has to ask, what was the query? What is your query with regards to GST? This is what. Let's say I use first thing which I have copied from here. So question is, can a, sorry.
Time subscription.
1 second. Can a writ petition be filed? So if this is there, within that, it will capture the information from that particular knowledge bank. If not, that is where it is going to reach out to AI and it is going to sum up. Now this is where it has pulled up.
Yeah.
And also it will go further and gets from the AI as well.
Yes.
That's my presentation. Thank you all. Thanks for your patience.
Thank you, Vijay sir, and you have beautifully incorporated all the important items of peer review in your demo case, and that is one of the important thing because peer review is going to be mandatory in phase manner to all the chartered accountants in future. Now and then, within 1 or 2 years, everybody will have to do the peer review, and you have meticulously done it. So now over to our juries.
Thank you, Meshbhai. Vijay, I think it was a nice presentation, and basically two things which we learned. One was how you use the chat GPT by giving an input of all the peer review material of the institute and coming out with the requisite things. And second, how to create a chatbot. That was really interesting. So now one small question which I have is, since you've been creating this chatbot, what is your experience? How have you found it? Showing one question or two questions is something different. But in general, for a CA office, is it useful on the website where any client can come? Does it come up with accurate results, or are most of the results inaccurate depending upon?
It has come out. It has personally, I've done 2 chatbots, one limiting the knowledge, other one exposing to the AI. AI, as you know, there are limitations there. No, you keep on buzzing the same question. It keeps on using different algorithms. But then when you limit the knowledge base, it has perfectly given as long as that is there in the given content. So that output is there. Even that I've observed in the chat GPT also, if you disable the global review and saying that you are going to limit the knowledge, then definitely the output has been pretty much good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Vijay, I think really like the presentation. I think this chatbot can be even used to train our interns by way of, we can just
Very
compile
much.
SOPs, documents, checklist formats in the organization, just upload those documents in the database, and accordingly the interns or the trainees can just retrieve fetch their query internally and even the management can validate whether it is responding positively or not.
Very much, sir. In fact, I'm expecting DAB and AI to come up with something like that to the members and students as well.
In fact, they are thinking very fast already.
Mayurji, a very good idea, I think. A very good idea that coming up with a training module for our articles, that is something which can easily be done and can be updated regularly also.
Because Manu sir कैसे chatbot के बाद definitely interface is very fast actually with the interns, and the management partners, everyone can be on the same platform just to get. And second stage is we can interact with our clients also later.
Very much, very much.
But my last question, this is just a feedback and the statement
Yes,
which you are making. So how we can make this a sustainable and evolving product as a bot itself? What is
the as much we have in our SQC, the training, continuous monitoring and training, obviously even the same applies to whatever tools we've been using. So there should be a dedicated resource person who constantly have to be a CA. We can have an MBA or someone who constantly monitors and keeps upgrading or updating kind of thing. And that supporting role is pretty much required to ethically monitor, not only just to use, to ethically monitor these kind of bots.
So what I can see is now in the post will come in the CA office is that we want someone to make a database for AI. Okay.
Yes.
New post we have to create in the chartered accountant firms. Thank you. Nice presentation.
Thank you.
2 points. I think Umesh has disappeared for some reason. So let me pitch in. There are 2 things, Mayur. What I have done in my offices in the recent past is we are actually putting this entire data for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years client files which are there quarter on quarter, and certain experimenting is being done by our office. Now, my presentations which I am making it before the audience also, have taken certain example what Vijay has been talking about, in a sense like, when I compiled all 5 years data, technically what happens is 90-95% of the thing is similar when we do audit. But important point is that, people change, not the client. So what we all have to understand is, friends, one thing which I would like to tell, clients are predominant and important for our practice. Though might be an article things that I am repeatedly doing a job, but for a firm, it is important that the client is retained and the retention goes for a longer period of time. The data which has been put into certain folders in different forms, this can actually move to certain cloud, and this cloud attach it with the GPT, and I think you can see the magic which is coming in. Point number 1. So the most important point is knowledge, which is very important because the tool universe. Number 2 is you talked about DAB and AI to come forward. So let me just tell you all, friends, today I'll tell you, it will be a decision taken between me and Umeshji to actually call for an exclusive expert meet who can actually develop a tool which can actually be very step-by-step process oriented approach can be developed, which will be given to all the members. But third important point, which is very important, Mayur, I think you will agree, Manu sir will agree, Umesh and I have been talking to it on a continuous basis. In some instances, I spoke to Vijay also on that matter. Please understand to what extent free is going to be there. Please understand. If I give a best tool also, you need to have a tweeter, right? So those people who are experts in this particular area, kindly pay them. Don't expect every time that everything is going to come free of cost. People put their time, energy, effort. The point is that by doing and learning certain things and creating a habit in the system, you yourself will save few thousands and lakhs of rupees in the entire process. So my request to you is reach out to some of the best trainers who are there, who can teach small tools in a proper manner, pay them certain amount because you are also going to gain out of it. That is very important. The time and energy and effort which you are going to put in to do trial runs and a trial and error model is not going to give you any great benefit. It is important that we all understand there's an expert sitting there and there's a person who is actually going to be with us who will give that the learning curve become almost zero because the person expert will come, like example Vijay and all other people who have come. These people come, talk, and they give a complete training which is customized to the firms, customized to the clients. It's a very good opportunity to collaborate with such expert, because one side your client benefit. Mayur, this is very important where everyone has to understand. When a client is there, don't think about practice alone in mind. Client also has a similar kind of problem. If this kind of benefits can be given to client, I'm promising you one thing, rather than being calling as cost center, you will be called as a profit center or might be value add center. So these are certain things which we need to understand, though it is out of box or might be to certain extent. I'm just putting it in the mind of people only and only from a point of view that, this benefits can come when you pay. There are tools which are available free of cost, but you should know which is the tool which is available free of cost. And number two, for what purpose I should be using, in what circumstances I am using. So this, I think, discussion was very interesting. I enjoyed it. I was watching the entire discussion.
So by the way, this is free, sir. It's available in the store. Anyone can search peer review and they can perform their firm peer review.
Vijay, nothing is free in this world. Let me tell you one thing. As simple as that.
At my cost. At my cost.
Data is something which is valuable and which is going out.
Yeah. So thank you, Vijay sir, and thank you all the juries and our Daya sir for interactive discussion on this use case.